Hey folks, Allison here. Well, today I want to speak to those of you who've had the very sad experience of an adult child cutting off contact with you, often over politics, over religion, over moral issues. Now, obviously there's a lot of hurts that happen in families, so family estrangement is not really new. But this phenomenon of cutting off family because of differences of opinion has become really, really big. And a lot of people are suffering. I want to just kind of give you some tips on how to actually respond to it, because often it happens out of the blue. You get a text, please don't contact me anymore, because of the way you voted, because of the way you believe, because you don't like my lifestyle, whatever it is. And it's devastating. And so many people feel like they're the only one. There's so much shame that goes along with it. Like, oh my gosh, what kind of a parent was I that my child has cut me off like this? We're living in very, very difficult times that are hypercharged through the media, through the internet, on social media. I want to point something out, though, that the devil is ultimately the one who sows division. But he doesn't do that by appealing to evil in us. He appeals to the good in us. So he takes a good and he distorts it. So I think that we need to kind of keep that in mind, that when there are these breaks over whatever it is, politics or religion or lifestyle or whatever the disagreement is, there's some goodness in the person who might be taking this strong action. And I think to respond or to understand that is really important, because it's very easy to kind of polarize, all right? That, well, they see you as all bad, and for you to be tempted to see them as all bad, and we kind of go into our political camps. And I think that we always have to keep our eyes on keeping our family together, even when it's apart, in a sense where one member might separate themselves. How do we kind of still maintain that bond of love, that bond of goodness that's there? So how to respond when you get a text like that? My suggestion is this: sometimes silence is golden. We don't necessarily want to respond because we don't want to add fuel to the fire. But number one thing is to kind of affirm their goodness. Affirm that you know that they are acting out of goodness in the way they understand things that are going on. Now, you may totally disagree, and that's okay. But can you see the good in them? Again, it might be misled. It may, in your view, but it's still, there's goodness there. So if you can affirm that, affirm how much you love them, and let them know that you will always be there for them, even if they choose to walk away. Kind of like the prodigal son, right? That the father let him go, but he waited and he watched and he saw the son coming from afar, which means he'd been watching for a long time. It may take time. It may take time. It's not always going to be a quick fix. You need to be praying. You need to offer up sacrifices, fasting, prayer. Have masses said for your family. It's really important because there's so much division going on today. Division is the devil's calling card. I would strongly urge you not to get into a debate. Not to say, well, that isn't really true. This is what really happened. It's going to go nowhere. Affirm, let's say, in things that happened recently in Minneapolis. There's a lot of upset on both sides. And let's face it, it's tragic when young people lose their lives. Wherever you stand on the issue, it's tragic. It's horrible what's going on. Let's not debate it, because you know something? You don't know all the facts. They don't know all the facts. All right, we think we do, and there might be, a kind of back and forth that goes on. Avoid the trap of getting pulled into a debate on such matters. Even in terms of morality, And I know so many of you have done everything you can to raise your children in a Catholic home, giving them the faith. But unfortunately, the world is very, very strong right now. I know since smartphones came out, it's a new ball game out there. There's such a powerful influence right in their pocket. And our pockets too, let's face it. We can go off the rails as well. We need to not get into those debates. We can agree to disagree. And sometimes silence is agreeing to disagree. All right, we don't have to necessarily say anything. Love them. Do not allow the devil to get you so angry that you lose sight of how much you love your children. Or even those who might have, separated from parents. Don't let anything keep you from seeing how much your parents love you and how much you love your parents. You can disagree. We can always disagree. But there's something bigger going on here now, and there is this phenomenon. I've never seen it in over 30 years of practice with this kind of epidemic of division. So pray, hope, don't worry. God has this in hand. Don't take the bait and get into these debates over things that we don't all have all the facts on, but affirm the good intention on the other side, right? And I'm talking about in your children or people who might be, horrified by what's going on or living a different lifestyle. There's some good intention there. Pray. We have so much power in prayer. Please don't lose sight of that. If you are struggling, I released a course recently called Finding Peace in a Divided Family. I'm going to put a link below this video. I highly recommend you sign up for it, because what I try to do in this course is to go through understanding communication, understanding the underlying problem, how to communicate better, how to pray better. We get lost in our emotions. So I hope, if you're interested, Finding Peace in a Divided Family. You can also find it at findingpeacecourse.com. So I hope you find that helpful. Please like and share the video, and let's all pray for one another. All right? Do not let anger on either side take over. Always, always, always resort to prayer. All right? And God will eventually work out all the details here. Pray, folks. We need a lot of prayer today. Hope you find it helpful. God bless you all.